You are listening to Theoretical Insights of D&D.
Lord, give me a fireball! Yes!
Give me my bees.
So, are you just gonna make Winnie the Pooh?
Pretty much.
3/4 cover is +5 to your AC. This is 1 minute. I'm done.
Read that one more time to where he can let this sink in. Let this sink in, Eric. Hey guys, I'm Rob.
And I'm Eric.
And welcome back to another episode of Theoretical Insights of D&D, where today we are covering our top 9 monsters or creatures for CR 19. We're starting to get on up there in the CR numbers, bud.
Mm-hmm.
We're starting to see some stupid stuff. Like what we saw beginning at CR 17 was... But we have to keep in mind, it only gets worse from here.
Or better.
Yeah, or better. But once again, as in every episode of these, we have a new and improved celebrity list.
Well, I made this list, so I don't know how improved it'll be.
Yeah, well,
It's new.
It's new. If it sucks, it's Eric's fault.
Listen, it won't suck because there's some good people on here.
Oh, there's some great people on there. Starting at number 1, our lowest for this week. Now, granted, this is the top 5 list, so all of them are awesome.
Yeah, just think about us the 5 through 10 out of our top 10 list. Not
pretty
as
much.
Top 5.
Pretty much. At number 1, we have Eddie the Beast Hall, one of the funniest bodybuilders out there, willing to do just about anything for a laugh, ridiculously strong.
I just seen him on the new Expendables movie. Hilarious scene.
Dude, the stuff that he's doing online with, God, what's the other bodybuilder's name that he hangs out with a lot? Not Brian Shaw, is it?
The Mountain. I can't remember his name.
No, it's not. It is Brian Shaw, and that's not the Mountain. Yeah, him and Brian Shaw together is just like watching two teenage brothers arguing and bickering back and forth.
Very, very large teenage brothers.
Very.
Dude, Eddie Hall is just like 5 months older than me.
And he's rich and a bodybuilder. What have you been doing?
Getting cancer. We have excelled in very different arenas.
I mean, that's fair. Dang. That's a bomb. Speaking
I'm
of
good
bombs,
for a few of those.
Oppenheimer was a great movie. Oh, and I figure you've experienced nearly as much radiation as Hiroshima and Nagasaki. But moving on.
Close.
At number 2, we have Brad Garrett. For those of you that do not recognize that name, that would be Ray's brother.
Robert, yeah.
From Everybody Loves Raymond. Along with the wrestling coach from The Pacifier, because even though that movie was horrible, it's still enjoyable to this day.
Yeah.
I will say his acting chops in Everybody Loved Raymond, especially when it got into the later seasons and him and his mom were sitting there on the couch. And she was talking about him finding somebody, and he just finally looked at her and said, "Ma, there's going to have to come a time where there might not be another piece for this." And he just gets up and walks off. That was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
He's a great actor.
He is a great actor.
Fantastic voice. Fantastic voice.
He's got one of those voices that you've heard many, many times. Some people not know who it is, but they've heard that voice.
Yeah, kind of like the guy from Allstate. Are you in good hands?
Oh, yeah.
He's going to make it onto the list eventually.
Eventually.
At number 3, we have Bryce Dallas Howard. She's been in some great movies.
Yes.
And I know
Probably
why Eric
one
put
of
her
the
on the list. I know
best
why.
looking actresses in Hollywood right now.
I was about to say, I know why Eric put her on the list, but this is a family-friendly show.
That's not the only reason. She is the daughter of the great Ron Howard. Okay.
She is a great actress. She has had some great roles. She's been in some really good movies as well.
I believe she directed an episode for The Mandalorian too.
She may have. God, dude, I remember it was what was the name of the movie? She was in a movie about it was The Help. Yeah, she was the one where she got served a doo-doo pie.
Yeah, she was practically a helpless woman.
She got served a doo-doo pie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. And then she goes from a role like that to playing, well, after this came beforehand, but Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man 3, along with her role in the Jurassic World trilogy, even though those movies cannot hold up to Jurassic Park, she did fine in them.
Yeah, she did good in them.
At number 4, we have the late and very great Tim Conway.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Conway is one of the funniest comedians / actors to live.
Yes.
Of all time.
His stuff on the what was it called?
Carol Burnett Show?
Yeah, the Carol Burnett Show was just, I still watch that show today.
Don't get me started on the dentist skit. That is possibly one of the best skits. There is nothing on Saturday Night Live except for Living in a Van Down by the River. Anything by Matt Foley that comes close to what Tim Conway did in that single skit. The Dean Martin Show was pretty close because Foster Brooks was up there, but he wasn't Tim Conway.
Yeah, he was in a lot of good stuff.
He was
funny
in
man.
A lot of great stuff. And at the top of the list for this week, we have Kevin Durand. You can see Kevin Durand, kind of, in the new Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes movie, as he is voicing, it's something Caesar.
Proximus Caesar.
Proximus Caesar, yes. Proximus Caesar. In interviews, to watch him get into character and just walk around as a giant ape, and he gets his voice way down here. It's absolutely amazing. He is a fantastic actor, a great character actor, coming from movies like Legion, Walking Tall, Primal. His role in Wild Hogs was absolutely hilarious. Remember, he played the idiot that Ray. God. I'll find out what his name was.
I liked him in Robin Hood with Kevin Costner. He was Little John.
Ray Liotta.
Yeah, Ray Liotta. Yeah.
He was the one that Ray Liotta kept beating the crap out of.
Yeah.
That was funny.
His name was Red.
Yeah. He's a great actor, great character actor.
He is a great actor.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what else he can put out before he either retires or steps out of the spotlight.
I hope he doesn't retire anytime soon.
You know what I would like to see? I would like to see him and Andy Serkis together in a movie. Like full-blown sharing a whole bunch of scenes.
Yeah.
But either way, we have 9 monsters to cover, and it's time that we get started with the adult cave dragon. This is coming to us from Cobalt Press from Tome of Beasts number 1, the 2023 edition. It's got an armor class of 18, 270 health, or you can take the max of 20d12 plus 140 for a max health of 380.
Oh, let me get my calculator.
Yeah, get your calculator.
It's been a while since we did this. Listen here. Listen here. Don't be like that. All right.
Waiting on a woman.
Well, not really. What'd you say?
380.
Maybe. That might be it.
Ooh, got one right.
It was a easy one.
Oh, yeah, it's an even number. It's got a movement speed of 40, a burrow speed of 40, and guess what? A climb speed of 40.
You
It's
don't
got
say.
+7 to dex saves, +8 to wisdom, 9 to charisma, and 13 to con, +14 to perception, and +7 to stealth. Immunity to poison, immunity to blinded and poisoned, blind sight of 60 feet, tremor sense for 120 feet, and a passive perception of 24. It's not exactly going to be the easiest to get by this guy.
No, it's not.
Here's why I put him on the list. Now, like I said, there's a lot of dragons getting onto the list as far as the CRs when you go up into these this level, but a lot of them are coming with really cool abilities.
Yeah, a lot of the higher end dragons start getting the really cool things.
This one's is Darkness Aura.
Mm-hmm.
The cave dragon emits magical darkness in a 30-foot radius around it. The darkness moves with the dragon and spreads around corners. Dark vision cannot penetrate this darkness, and no natural light can illuminate it. If any of the darkness overlaps with an area of light created by a spell of 3rd level or lower, the spell creating this light is dispelled. At the start of each of his turns, the dragon chooses whether this aura is active. A successful Dispel Magic DC 14 cast on the dragon suppresses this aura for 1 minute. It's not hard to get rid of.
But it only gets rid of it for a minute.
Yeah. And if done correctly, a fight with this level of a dragon should last longer than 10 rounds.
Oh, yeah.
It's got 3 uses of legendary resistance, and it has a magical tunneler. The cave dragon can burrow through non-magical, unworked earth and stone. While doing so, the dragon can choose whether to leave the material it moves through undisturbed or leave a 10-foot diameter tunnel in its wake. In other words, it can move through stuff without creating a hole, bud.
It's a graboid until you get a druid or was it cleric with shapestone.
Pretty much.
Make you a platform underneath you. You're good.
Spiked climb. The dragon uses its spikes to hold itself in place while climbing, allowing it to climb difficult surfaces, including upside down on ceilings, without needing to make an ability check. If it climbs upside down on a ceiling or suspends itself on a vertical surface while leaving its claws free, it can't use the rough spikes reaction. I wonder what that is.
We'll find out.
As a multi-attack, the dragon will use its frightful presence, and then make 1 bite attack and 2 claw attacks. Now, obviously, by this point, we all know how frightful presence works, but the DCs for each of them will be different depending on what type of dragon it is and the age of it. The bite is a 14 to hit, 10-foot reach, 2d10 plus 8 piercing damage, plus 3d6 poison damage. The claw is plus 14 to hit, 5-foot reach, 2d6 plus 8 slashing damage. It also has a tail attack, plus 14 to hit, 15-foot reach, 2d8 plus 8 bludgeoning damage. And the frightful presence save is a DC 17 wisdom. Oh, we're getting into the big numbers now. Poison breath, recharge of 5 to 6. The dragon exhales a cone of black poisonous gas in a 60-foot cone. Each creature in that area must make a DC 21 Constitution saving throw. On a failure, the target takes 16d6 poison damage and is poisoned until it finishes a short rest.
Jeez.
A creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each hour, ending the effect on itself on a success. So there is no, once you're poisoned like this, you're poisoned like this for the rest of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
That means disadvantage on, let me pull this up just to where I'm telling everybody correctly.
Attack rolls and ability checks.
Yeah. You know what? Oh. Go against the AC 18 with a disadvantage on every attack roll.
Yeah, and this is and a DC 21 con save to not be poisoned.
and then have disadvantage on that DC 17 Wisdom save for fearful
Yeah,
frightful
this
presence.
he's gonna hurt.
God. As a reaction, it has rough spikes. When a creature moves to a space within 5 feet of the cave dragon, the dragon flares its many and spikes. The creature must succeed on a 21 dexterity saving throw or take 2d8 piercing damage and be prevented from entering that space.
Ooh.
That's cool.
Yeah, and if you're already poisoned, you got to make that as a disadvantage. Imagine making a 21 dex save a disadvantage. I can't even make a dex save with advantage.
It is not my fault you do not play dexterous people.
Fair.
As legendary actions, it can detect with a perception check, make a tail attack, or for 2 actions, it can use limb sweep. The dragon sweeps its wingless limbs outward. Each creature within 10 feet of the dragon must succeed on a DC 21 dexterity saving throw or take 2d6 plus 8 bludgeoning damage and be pushed up to 10 feet away from the dragon and knocked prone. So, pretty much the same as wing attack.
Yeah.
Now, this thing also comes with layer actions. Always happening on initiative count 20. The first is cave in. The ceiling collapses above one creature the dragon can see within 120 feet of it. The creature must make a DC 15 dexterity saving throw. On a failure, the creature takes 3d6 bludgeoning damage and is knocked prone and buried. On a success, the creature takes half damage and isn't knocked prone or buried. A buried creature is restrained and unable to breathe or stand up. A creature, including the buried creature, can take an action to free the buried creature by succeeding on a DC 15 strength check.
That's one thing I was going to look into if you could not breathe.
All being able to cast spells.
Yeah.
Well, you can hold your breath for a number of minutes equal to your Constitution modifier.
Yeah, but I know it doesn't. It probably doesn't say anything in the rule book, but would casting spells with verbal components waste some of that air?
Well, it would. It technically would, but here's the thing: if you're underwater, even if you take a potion of water breathing,
Mm-hmm.
then you technically are still muffled by the water, and yet technically you're still able to cast spells. So as long as the words are spoken, and they are spoken as they are supposed to be, like Bras Nocto Nitro, whatever they were supposed to be.
Yeah, but wouldn't that reduce the amount of time you have air left?
I would rule yes, depending on if they only had a very short, if they only had a +1 to their Constitution modifier, I would say yeah. But if they got a +5 to their con mod, there's no point. They can sit there for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's 5 rounds of combat.
Hmm.
Release the vermin. Okay. A 20-foot radius sphere of insects appears centered on a point the dragon can see within 120 feet of it. When a creature enters the cloud of insects for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, that creature must make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw, taking 2d10 piercing damage on a failed save or half as much on a successful one. The cloud of insects lasts until initiative count 20 on the next round. And split the earth. A crack appears in the ground beneath when within 120 feet of the dragon that is 10 feet long, 10 feet wide, and 20 feet deep. Each creature standing on a spot where the crack opens must succeed on a DC 15 dexterity saving throw or fall in, taking falling damage. A creature that successfully saves moves with the crack's edge as it opens. The crack remains open for 1 minute until the dragon uses this later action again or until the dragon dies.
Imagine, if you will, you were surprised by this dragon in a cave, and he does that first, and then looks down in the hole and breathes his poisonous breath.
Oh, you have nowhere to go. There's no.
Yeah.
Wow.
You are trapped in a 10-foot by 10-foot box, 20 feet deep.
That's rough. That's really rough.
And then you're not going to make it out because you got, 15, you might make it out. On a disadvantage.
I think this guy's pretty cool, but he's kind of lacking against some of the other adult dragons that we've had. I could put him at a 4.
Yeah, I could go with that. I would say 4.5 because he looks cool.
Well, no, actually, I will give a 4.5 because of the poison condition that he gets on his breath and the fact that it cannot be removed for an hour.
And he also does poison damage with his bite.
Yeah. I mean, dwarves are automatically resistant to that, and
Mhm.
dwarves are going to have advantage against the saving for that. But even if they fell with the advantage, bud.
Well, if you think about it, dwarves are probably going to fight this thing more than just about any other dragon, being a
Which
cave
is
dragon.
which is probably why the save is so high. Number one, number two, why it is every short rest or every hour that you get to make that saving throw again.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have the adult time dragon, and it looks awesome. It just looks awesome.
Okay, his horns kind of look like owl's wings.
It does.
That's pretty cool. Looks like it's got feathers almost.
Armor
It's just
class.
scales.
Armor class of 19, 250 hit points, or you can take the maximum of 20d12 plus 120 for a max health of 360. It's a 40-foot movement speed and climbing speed of 40 feet with a flying speed of 80. Plus 8 to dex saves, 9 to wisdom, 11 to charisma, and 12 to con saves. Plus 12 to arcana, 18 to history, 15 to perception, and 14 to stealth. Blindside of 60 feet, dark vision of 120, and a passive perception of 25. It's got 3 uses of legendary resistance, and that's it.
Yeah, it's not all frills. It's just a dragon, really cool dragon.
With its multi-attack, the dragon makes 3 rend attacks. The rend is a plus 13 to hit, 10-foot reach, 2d6 plus 7 slashing damage, plus 2d6 force damage. That force damage, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, the only thing that you're going to have in a party possibly that's going to be resistant to force damage is going to be the bear totem barbarian if you went bear totem.
Yeah.
Nothing else is going to give you force resistance outside of magic items, and I think it's really only going to come out of specific armors or shields.
Yes, I believe that's about it.
Yeah. Time breath. The dragon exhales a wave of shimmering light in a 60-foot cone. Non-magical objects and vegetation in that area that aren't being worn or carried crumble to dust. Each creature in that area must make a DC 20 con save. On a failed save, the creature takes 8d8 force damage and is magically weakened as it is desynchronized from the time stream. While the creature is in this state, attack rolls against it have advantage, and it has the poison condition. On a successful save, a creature takes half as much damage only. A weakened creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself after a success for 3 times.
Jeez. That's stupid.
Yeah.
No matter what, you're getting poisoned and you're weakened.
And then you have to succeed 3 times.
Yeah. That's stupid. Hacks.
As a reaction, the dragon can take up to 3 reactions per round, but only 1 per turn. 3 reactions per round, but only 1 per turn.
Yeah. Yeah, this thing's cheating. It's got speed hacks. Literally.
Reactive rend. After using legendary resistance or in response to being hit by an attack roll, the dragon makes 1 rend attack. Slow time. Immediately after a creature the dragon can see ends its turn, the dragon targets a creature it can see within 60 feet of itself that is weakened by its time breath. Until the weakened effect ends on the target, its speed becomes 0, and its speed can't increase. Time slip. The dragon halves the damage it takes from an attack made against it, provided that it can see the attacker. The dragon can then immediately teleport along with any equipment it is wearing or carrying up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space it can see.
No.
It gets worse. Layer actions. Now, granted, if fought in the layer, it is considered a C. Oh, no. It is a CR19 when in the layer. We're doing it right. Temporal fling. The dragon attempts to fling a creature it can see within 60 feet of itself forward through time. The target must succeed on a DC 18 wisdom saving throw or take 4d12 psychic damage and move 1 round forward in time. A target moved forward in time vanishes for the duration. When the effect ends, the target reappears in the space it left or in an occupied space nearest to that space if it's occupied. It is a mini banishment.
Yeah, you're banished for the round. Jesus.
Temporal lag. The dragon slows time for each creature within 60 feet of itself. Until initiative count 20 of the next round, the affected creature can move or take an action on its turn, but not both. The creature also can't take a reaction or a bonus action.
This thing's cheating.
Timeline divergence. The dragon chooses a space it can fit into within its layer. The dragon exists simultaneously in its space and the chosen space until initiative count 20 on the next round. Whenever it moves or takes an action, the dragon chooses which version is moving or acting. If an effect or attack can target both the dragon's spaces at the same time, the dragon is only affected once. It can spawn a copy of itself anywhere within its layer for that time breath weapon.
Yeah. It can spawn it behind the party. The party shoots the original, and then the original just teleports away. Time breath, everybody. Fight's done. He cheated. Goodbye.
And then the next round, he temporal flings the barbarian.
Yeah.
And then he temporal lags the rogue.
This is stupid.
This is crazy.
No, this is stupid.
Dude, the regional effects, time dilation. The time fluctuates within 3 miles of the layer. Short rests taken within this area are take 10 minutes or 2 hours. Your choice. Timelessness. Beasts, humanoids, and plants within 3 miles of the layer only age 1 year for every 10 years that pass. And if the dragon dies, these effects fade over the course of 1d10 days. See, even Tack is like, this is stupid.
Exactly.
He's looking over your shoulder like, yeah, that dragon be dumb.
And he's whining too. Well, you're going
Dude.
somewhere.
It's a 5.
Yes.
It's a 5.
It's a 5 because it's so stupid.
It is an owl.
It's literally hacking.
I think I know what kind of dragon's going to be in my game.
Don't do it.
Fling. Temporal fling.
You're going to fling Tally. And everybody else is like, where'd she go?
I can hear Ducky on the other end of that microphone just like, she'll be so loud or be cutting out.
You might have somebody pissed at you if you try this.
Nah, it wouldn't be the first time.
That's very true.
Next up, we have the ancient lunar dragon. That's right. You heard it correctly. We have an ancient dragon. It could have been the ancient crystal or deep, but the lunar dragon is just a little bit cooler to me.
It looks cooler too.
It's an AC of 18, max health of 297. Get that calculator ready because I'm going to mess this up.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can take the max of 17d20 plus 119 for a max health of 459.
Yes, it is.
There, go! Look at your boy go! Doing it right. Making my daddy proud. I think. I don't know. Love you, Daddy.
With this podcast, I don't know.
Probably not. It's a speed of 40 feet, burrow of 20, and a flying speed of 80. Plus 13 to con saves and 8 to wisdom, 14 to perception, and 13 to stealth. Immune to cold damage with dark vision of 240 feet. And a passive perception of 24. 3 uses of legendary resistance per day. Tunneler, the dragon can burrow through solid rock at half its burrowing speed and leaves a 20-foot diameter tunnel in its wake. And thanks to unusual nature, the dragon doesn't require air. It's an ant. It just breathes like a cephalopod. Cephalopod.
A snail dragon.
Oh, the snail dragon. New homebrew from TID&D, the snail dragon.
Oh,
The
God.
scariest cephalopod upon the face of Faerun.
The scariest 500 feet an hour you have ever seen.
Dude, the slime trail it leaves behind does acid damage.
And can be set on fire.
And as a legendary action, it can roll up into its shell and roll.
Jeez.
You have to make a dexterity save to dodge out of the way, or you take a whole bunch of bludgeoning damage as it just rolls over you. All you hear is, keep rolling, 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 rolling.
Crunch.
The bard pops up. Now move in and move out. Stand up and the heads down. What you gonna do now?
Jeez.
As a multi-attack, the dragon makes 1 bite attack and 2 claw attacks. The bite is a plus 14 to hit, 15-foot reach, 2d6 plus 8 piercing damage, plus 2d6 cold damage. Really not that much damage from the bite.
No, not too much.
The claw is a plus 14 to hit, 10-foot reach, 2d6 plus 8 slashing damage. Also has a tail attack, plus 14 to hit, 20-foot reach, 2d6 plus 8 bludgeoning damage. And cold breath. The dragon exhales a blast of frost in a 90-foot cone. Each creature in the cone must make a DC 21 con save. On a failed save, the creature takes 8d8 cold damage, and its speed is reduced to 0 until the end of its next turn. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage, and its speed isn't reduced. And that's it. That's all the breath weapon does.
Yeah.
But that's not all the dragon does.
Yeah. No, I knew it was coming.
As a bonus action, it can use phase 3 times per day. The dragon becomes partially incorporeal for as long as it maintains concentration on the effect, as if concentrating on a spell. While partially incorporeal, the dragon has resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. There's your counter to the barbarian, fighter, and paladin. Except for smite.
Why do I always get a headache talking about these?
Because you know you're going to wind up fighting them.
Yes.
With legendary actions, it has the tail attack, and possibly the best legendary action name for a dragon we've seen, Treacherous Ice.
Seen so far.
Magical ice covers the ground in a 20-foot radius centered on a point the dragon can see within 120 feet of itself. The ice, which is difficult terrain for all creatures except for the lunar dragon, lasts for 10 minutes or until the dragon uses this legendary action again.
So even if you have, what is it the Rangers have that they can basically ignore difficult terrain?
Yeah, that don't work on this.
Jesus. For 120 feet, that's that'd be at least 2 turns in the ice.
Well, it's a 20-foot radius.
Oh, yeah. Never mind.
Anywhere within 120 feet.
Okay. Still, that's all
And-
turn.
And wing attack. The dragon beats its wings. Like that. Each creature within 15 feet of the dragon must succeed on a DC 21 dex save or take 1d8 plus 8 piercing damage and be knocked prone. The dragon can then fly up to half its speed without provoking opportunity attacks. You know, half of its 80-foot flying speed.
Yeah.
And there
I
is
like
no
it.
layer for this one. I like
like
it too, but it's not a 5.
No, it's not a 5, but I do like it.
It's a solid 4.
I like it better than the Time Dragon, but it's not as cool as the Time Dragon. But yeah, I'd give it a 4.
Next up, we have Bell. Bael. Bell. Like a hay bell. And it's funny because he's a cow.
Yeah.
He's a large fiend, technically, but he is a cow.
He is a Minotaur.
Armor class of 18, 189 hit points, or you can take the maximum of 18d10 plus 90 for a max health of 270. Movement speed of 30. Plus 9 to dex saves. That's stupid. That's stupid. Plus 9 to dex saves. That's
demonic.
Uncalled for.
It's a demonic.
No, hold up. Wait a minute.
Yes.
You see the stats on this?
Yes.
You see it's got a 24 strength, a 20 con, a 21 intelligence, 24 wisdom, 24 charisma, and the only one that's below a 20 is its dexterity, and that's a 17.
Yeah. It is a demonic Minotaur.
Where'd this come from? Of course it's Mordenkainen.
Mordecai's. It would be Mordecai.
Mordenkainen's over here in the Monsters of the Multiverse, just giving everything that'll shut down any kind of min-max or power gamer. It's like, oh, you need me to make this kind of saving throw, and you've got this amount of a saving spell save DC? No worries. I'll have a plus 9 to my dex, 11 to my con, 11 to my intelligence, and a 13 to charisma. You know, all the spells that really matter, except for banishment, and you're only going to run into this guy on his own realm of existence.
Yeah. Mordecai went to ancient Egypt, ancient Greece. He was like, let's make it bigger.
Let's give the Minotaur steroids and light him on fire.
Give him armor and a giant mace. Yeah. And a cape. Capes always look cool.
Unsurprisingly, it has a plus 13 to intimidation, a plus 13 to perception, and a plus 13 to persuasion. It is resistant to cold, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks that aren't silvered.
Mm-hmm.
Immune to fire and poison. Mm-hmm. Immune to charmed, exhaustion, frightened, and poisoned.
Mm-hmm.
True sight of 120 feet. And a passive perception of 23. The rogue is screwed.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, dread. Any creature other than a devil that starts its turn within 10 feet of Bell must succeed on a DC 22 wisdom saving throw or be frightened of him until the start of its next turn. A creature succeeds this saving throw automatically if Bell wishes it or if he's incapacitated. 3 uses of legendary resistance per day. Our favorite, magic resistance.
Of course.
And regeneration. Bell regenerates 20 hit points at the start of his turn. If he takes cold damage or radiant damage, the trait doesn't function at the start of his next turn, and Bell dies only if he starts his turn with 0 hit points and doesn't regenerate.
At least it's cold or radiant damage.
Yeah. Multi-attack. Bell makes 2 Hellish Morningstar attacks. The Hellish Morningstar is a plus 13 to hit, 20-foot reach, 2d8 plus 7 force damage, plus 2d8 necrotic damage.
Okay, he's only a large fiend with a 20-foot reach on his...
Let me look at the picture of this dude again. He got some long arms.
Still. A 20-foot reach on the mace.
That's dealing force and necrotic damage?
Yeah.
Good luck, barbarian. You're not going to have that unless you're a totem.
I can't believe this is actual Wizards of the Coast freaking content. This thing's broken.
Infernal Command. Each of Bel's allies within 60 feet of him can't be charmed or frightened until the end of his next turn.
Okay.
Spellcasting.
Of course.
Spell save DC of 21. At will, he can cast Alter Self and can become the size medium. Charm Person, Detect Magic, Invisibility, Major Image. 3 times per day for each. Dispel Magic, Fly. Suggestion.
Yep.
Wall of Fire.
Yep.
And 1 time Dominate Monster.
Yep.
Or he can teleport up to 120 feet to an unoccupied space.
Yep.
Okay. As a legendary action, he can use his fiendish magic by casting a spell or teleporting, use Infernal Command, or attack. Solid 4. Solid 4.
Yeah. Though he's broken.
Oh, he's absolutely busted. There's no way around that. Dude doesn't have anything below a 17. He's like 1991 Michael Jordan.
And on his 17 is a +9 on his saving throw.
Oh. And he's immune to fire damage.
Yeah. And
So much
poison.
for Fireball. Let's go in with Cone of Cold and Sleet Storm.
He's still resistant to that shit.
He's resistant, but it will cancel out his regeneration.
It's stupid.
It only gets worse because next up is the Baylor.
Yeah, and you made this list. Oh, another Minotaur-esque. This one's got wings.
It can fly on its own.
This is a Balrog. That's all it is.
It's probably what they based it off of, honestly.
This is a Balrog. Look at that fire whip. That's a Balrog. It's got wings. Looks like it. It's a Balrog. And I think the one in Lord of the Rings had a sword similar to that.
Pretty much. Well, I don't know if it didn't so much have a sword, but it definitely had the whip.
I think it was the extended scenes where
Maybe
Gandalf
so.
was actually fighting it with a sword when they were on.
Oh
top of the
yeah, I
mountain.
remember that. They weren't on top of a mountain. They were in a tower.
They were in the tallest tower of the highest peak of the whatever.
I was on the tallest tower of the highest peak in Rothgar. The Greybeards. They yelled and said,
Get off my lawn!
The Blue Wizards.
I wish we need to do some voice acting for Skyrim.
Oh dear God.
Kushroda. AC of 19, 262 hit points. You can take a max of 21d12 plus 126 for a max health of, and I believe, if I do this correctly, it'd be 252 plus 126 should be 378.
Yes, it is.
Yeah! Boys on a roll today. Movement speed of 40 and a flying speed of 80. It doesn't need the spell fly. It just does it.
It just flies. It has wings.
It is the Shia LaBeouf. Just do it. 14 to strength saves, 12 to con and charisma, and 9 to wisdom. Screw dexterity. Resistant to cold, lightning, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks. Immune to fire and poison. Immune to poison condition. True sight of 120 feet and a passive perception of 13.
Well, at least the weapons don't have to be silvered this time.
Yeah. Death throws, not THROWS, THROES. I don't know what that is, but we're about to find out.
Yes. Let me Google that.
Yeah, look up the definition of throw.
See if there's a different definition, because I'm just a dumb redneck.
What is the
Professor Eric of Theoretical Insights of D&D, what is the definition from, what's the Webster's definition of throw?
This is from Oxford.
Screw Oxford. Give me that Webster.
Intense, violent pain and struggle, especially accompanying birth, death, or great change. This is how Conan the Barbarian was born. He was thrown into the world.
Oh, it brings a whole new meaning of throwing up. It's when you're born into a high class, but it hurts. They drop you on your head a couple times as a child.
People like that.
And you come out in support of all electric vehicles. When the Baylor dies, it explodes, and each creature within 30 feet of it must make a DC 20 dexterity saving throw or take that's a big number. 20 d6 fire damage.
That's at 30 feet, too.
20 d6 fire damage. That's 70 damage if you don't want to roll it.
Dude dies and becomes an atom bomb. Jeez.
Oh, it also ignites flammable objects in the area that aren't being worn or carried, and it destroys the Baylor's weapons.
Of course it does. Why not?
Fire aura. At the start of each of the Baylor's turns, each creature within 5 feet of it takes 3d6 fire damage, and flammable objects in the aura that aren't being worn or carried ignite. A creature that touches the Baylor or hits with a melee attack while within 5 feet of it takes 3d6 fire damage. Eric, guess what? Magic resistance.
Of course it would be.
And it's got magic weapons.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Its fire aura is already lighting stuff on fire. Okay,
Yeah.
Never mind. I just seen it. It's 5 foot and the explosion's 30 foot. Never mind. Keep going.
Yeah.
Proceed, good sir.
Continuing.
Multi-attack. The Baylor makes 2 attacks, one with its longsword and one with its whip.
The whip.
The whip. Cool whip.
Cool whip.
Longsword. 14 to hit, 10 foot reach, 3d8 plus 8 slashing damage, plus 3d8 light. Wait a minute.
Yes.
3d8 plus 8 slashing damage, plus 3d8 lightning damage. And if the Baylor scores a critical hit, it rolls damage dice 3 times instead of twice. And the whip. Plus 14 to hit, 30 foot reach, 2d6 plus 8 slashing damage, plus 3d6 fire damage. And the target must succeed on a DC 20 strength saving throw or be pulled up to 25 feet toward the Baylor.
Nice.
Oh boy.
See, since you started calling it a whip,
whip.
I've got a image in my head of Stewie Griffin with horns and wings. A red Stewie Griffin with horns and wings.
It's a cool
carrying a fire whip and a magical longsword. Thanks for that.
And teleport. The Baylor magically teleports along with any equipment it's wearing or carrying up to 120 feet to an unoccupied space it can see.
So it can fly. How much?
80 feet.
80 feet. And it also has a teleport of 120 feet.
Yep. And as a variant, you can summon a demon 1 time per day. It has a 50% chance of summoning 1d8 Vrox, 1d6 Hezros, 1d4 Glabrazas, 1d3 Nalfashesnes, 1d2 Meriliths, or 1 Garistro. I don't even know what a Garistro is. Oh, the Garistro is rough.
Just a wee bit.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Challenge rating 17.
With 310 health.
Dude. You're not picking the list anymore.
What? Okay. It's 310 health and a 19 AC. This dude's got all the same resistances and does 3d8 plus 7 damage with his fist.
Yep. I would have replaced the Ender Dragon with this thing. This thing is stupid. Yes, the Ender Dragon is on here.
Yeah, the Ender Dragon's on here, but it's not on the list because it's really not that good. It really isn't. It's not good at all.
You know how many people it's beat in Minecraft?
A lot. You know how many people it's beat in D&D? None, because the stat block sucks.
It does suck.
It's horrible. This dude's a 5. The Baylor is a 5. It is sick, and it is straight out of the Monster Manual. That is straight Monster Manual material coming straight to your face.
That's
burning the flesh from your skull.
That's base 5e cannon monster.
That thing just shows up and says, "Rawr."
Moo.
Moo. If I had a Baylor say that, I'd just fall over laughing.
And then it would stab you.
He would, but I'd die
It'd be an
laughing.
automatic crit. And roll 3 times instead of twice.
You realize that would be 98?
Yes.
98 plus 9. It'd be 98 plus 98. It'd be 18d8.
Plus the
plus 8.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Dead.
I'd be dead, but I'd be laughing. Moo. Moo. Next up, we have the, I don't even know how to say this, Raisvelger.
Yeah.
Raisvelger.
We'll say that.
Hraesvelgr. Raisvelger.
This is also out of the Tome of Beasts.
Yeah, that is a very Norse-looking name.
It is a very Norse-looking creature, too.
Like,
Oh, Mr. Giant, what is your name?
my name is Raisvelger. My best friend is Jormungandr.
Looks like his best friend used to be a raven. Or an eagle.
Oh, God. Ducky's going to lose her mind.
He is a servant of the Raven Queen.
He's just standing, yes, queen. AC of 19, 241 hit points, or you can take the maximum of 21d12 plus 105 for a max health of, what would that be, 357? I think I did that math right.
$249. Oh, what? I put that in wrong.
You fool!
Yeah, 357.
Hey, I ain't missed one yet.
Yeah, I hit 12d12 instead of 21d12.
You idiot! You
Listen,
dyslexic bruh.
I got these big fingers that are not the best on some of these keyboards.
Bruh.
So, you know what?
Moo. 50. Wait a minute. 50-foot movement speed. 20-foot. Wait. Oh.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Just read that.
Or it can move 20 feet on the ground or fly 120 feet in rock form. So it transforms, and all you hear is, if you smell what the rock.
It's a... Okay, I was looking at the info on it. It is called whatever, the Corpse Swallower.
Huh?
Yes.
Raisvelger, the Corpse Swallower.
It is it's a giant shape changer.
Yeah, screw this dude.
This is Odin's little corpse daddy.
You couldn't have chosen a worse word. A worse copy of word. Choose better words, Eric.
I meant what I said, and I said what I meant.
Oh. +6 to Dex saves, +9 to Intelligence and Wisdom, and +11 to Charisma. +13 to Athletics, +9 to Perception, and +9 to Survival. Resistant to Lightning and Thunder.
See?
Interesting to see the Thunder on there, because not a lot's resistant to Thunder.
Odin wanted to have him around in case Thor being a little prick.
He usually was.
Yeah.
You remember in mythology where he had to dress up as a woman in a wedding dress to get Mjolnir back because didn't he lose it in a game of cards or something like that?
Yep.
Wow.
And here comes Corpse Daddy putting Thor back in his place.
Corpse Daddy. That's his new name.
Corpse
Everyone meet Corpse Daddy. God.
I mean, he carries around caskets like nunchucks.
Wait a minute. Is that what he's
Look
carrying?
at the picture.
He is carrying around caskets like nunchucks. This dude's awesome.
Imagine
All
there's
right.
bodies in those caskets while he's slinging them around. Or bones and they're rattling like maracas.
He busts out at the local party with his maracas, and it's just Great Uncle Harold and Great Aunt Gertrude, and they're shaking it like they were made yesterday. You can hear now, come on, Gertrude, stay on beat. Immune to cold, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks. Immune to exhaustion, and a passive perception of 19. Influence weather. Nearby weather responds to Corpse Daddy's desires. At the start of each minute, I swear, Eric. At the start of each minute, Corpse Daddy can choose to change the precipitation and the wind within 3 miles of him by one stage, up or down, no action required. This effect works like changing weather conditions aspect of core control weather. Except, why do I need to keep saying it? Except Corpse Daddy can't change the temperature and the conditions changing immediately.
See, this is anti-Thor.
3 uses of legendary resistance, and in rock form only keen sight. With multi-attack, Racevelger, the Corpse Daddy, makes 1 beak attack and 2 talon attacks, or he makes 3 fist attacks. Alternatively, he can make 3 Gale Blast attacks. If 2 fist attacks hit 1 creature, the target must succeed on a DC 19 Constitution saving throw or be stunned until the end of its next turn.
He literally hits you so hard, he stuns you.
In rock form, he has Beak. Plus 13 to hit, 10-foot reach, 4d8 plus 7 piercing damage. Or Talons. 13 to hit, 5-foot reach, 3d6 plus 7 slashing damage, and the target's grappled with an escape DC of 17. Until the grapple ends, the target is restrained. Racevelger, the Corpse Daddy, has 2 talons in which can grapple only 1 target. So he grapples you, flies up 120 feet, and drops you. And in giant form, he has Fist. 13 to hit, 10-foot reach, 3d8 plus 7 piercing damage. And he does that 3 times. And if he hits you with the first 2, because it's a plus 13 to hit, you're stunned. And then the third one's at advantage. Gale Blast. It's a ranged spell attack. Plus 11 to hit, range of 120 feet, 2d8 plus 5 bludgeoning damage, plus 2d6 cold damage. Wait a second. He can swallow you as a rock. Racevelger, the Corpse Daddy, makes 1 beak attack against a large or smaller creature he's grappling. If the attack hits, the target is also swallowed and the grapple ends. While swallowed, the target is blinded and restrained. It has total cover against attacks and other effects outside of Racevelger, and it takes 5d6 acid damage at the start of each of Racevelger's turns. Racevelger can only have one creature swallowed at a time. And if you take 40 damage or more on a single turn from the swallowed creature, it must succeed on a DC 15 con save or upchuck. Oh, a sudden gust. Recharge of 5 to 6. Raisvelger unleashes a powerful gust of wind in a 60-foot line that's 10 feet wide. Each creature in the line must make a DC 19 strength saving throw. On a failure, the creature takes 18 d6 bludgeoning damage and is pushed up to 15 feet away from Corpse Daddy. On a success, the creature takes half damage and isn't pushed. That's 18 d6 from wind.
Yeah.
He just goes,
And that's not a form specific, so it could be
no, it's
either
not form specific.
just beat his wings, go whoosh, and off the cliff you go.
Or he can just stand there as a giant and go.
Yeah.
Oh, he's also got legendary actions.
Of course he does.
Raisvelger has the legendary actions of attack with his fist or talon, move up to his speed, or flies up to half its flying speed in rock form without provoking opportunity attacks.
Of course.
And in rock form only, ear-splitting screech. Raisvelger lets out an ear-splitting screech. I wouldn't have guessed that. Each creature within 30 feet of Raisvelger must succeed on a DC 19 con save or take 4d6 thunder damage and be deafened until the end of its next turn. Guess what? Layer actions.
Of course.
Pillar of Wind. One creature within 60 feet of Raisvelger must succeed on a DC 19 strength saving throw or be swept in a pillar of wind. The creature is restrained and suspended 15 feet off the ground. A creature can take an action to free the restrained creature by succeeding on a DC 19 dexterity strength check. If the restrained creature has a way to pull itself out of the air, it can free itself in the same way. If the restrained creature has a flying speed, it can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success. Otherwise, the effect lasts until Raisvelger uses this legendary action again or until he dies. So in other words, you're 15 feet off the ground, and if nobody can reach you, you're stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Powerful Exhale. Raisvelger unleashes a blast of wind in a 60-foot cone. Each creature in the area must succeed on a DC 19 dexterity saving throw or be knocked prone. And Terrifying Utterance. Raisvelger lets out a thunderous bellow. Each creature within 30 feet of him that can hear him must succeed on a DC 19 Constitution saving throw or be frightened for 1 minute. You can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of his turns, ending the effect on a success. Dude's a 5.
Yeah.
This dude's a 6.
Yeah, Corpse Daddy's top of the list.
It doesn't surprise me that it came from Tome of Beast 1 because Cobalt Press is putting out some crazy stuff.
And he's not overpowered. He's just really, 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 really cool.
Yeah, he is so far the top creature on this list.
Yeah, I'd have to say he's over the dragons, definitely.
Oh, he much better than the dragons. Screw the dragons. But next up, we have something from Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. The Lesser Star Spawn Emissary. And it looks freaky. AC of 19.
I wish there was a bigger picture of it.
You and me both. AC of 19. 241 health, or you can take the max of 21d8 plus 147 for a max health of, that would be 168 plus 147, should be 315?
Yep.
Hey! I'm what, 5 for 5?
So far.
No, I'm more than that because we only got 2 left after this.
Yeah,
7 for 7.
You're on a roll.
Lucky number 11.
You're on a roll.
Cool whip. Saving throws plus 13 to intelligence, 11 to wisdom, and 12 to charisma. 19 to arcana, 18 to deception, and 11 to perception. Resistant to acid, force, necrotic, and psychic. Immune to charmed and frightened. Excuse me. True sight of 120 feet and a passive perception of 21. Aberrant rejuvenation. When the emissary drops to 0 hit points, its body melts away. A greater star spawn emissary instantly appears in an unoccupied space within 20 feet where the lesser emissary disappeared. The greater emissary uses the lesser emissary's initiative count.
So you kill it and it gets stronger.
Yes. No, you kill it and a bigger one shows up.
Yeah.
That's problematic. 3 uses of legendary resistance, and it doesn't require air, food, drink, or sleep. Well, looking like that, I would hope not. It doesn't even have a mouth. Multi-attack. It makes 3 attacks. Lashing Maw. Plus 11 to hit, 15-foot reach, 2d10 plus 5 piercing damage, plus 3d8 acid damage. Psychic Orb. It's a ranged spell attack, plus 13 to hit, 120 feet range, 2d10 plus 7 psychic damage. And change shape. It can polymorph into a small or medium creature of its choice or back into its true form. And its statistics are the same no matter what form it's in. As a legendary action, it can use Psychic Orb. Teleportation Maw. The emissary teleports to an unoccupied space it can see within 30 feet of it and then makes a Lashing Maw attack.
Yep.
And Psychic Lash costs 3 actions. The emissary targets a creature that it can see within 30 feet of it and psychically lashes out at that creature's mind. The target must succeed on a DC 21 saving throw, Wisdom, or take 8d8 psychic damage and be stunned until the end of its next turn. It on its own, I believe, is 3.5.
I could probably go down to a 3.
The only reason I'm giving it a 3.5 is because it spawns in the greater emissary, which is an AC of 15, sure, but 290 hit points and a max health of up to 400.
Good.
And a flying speed, where its Psychic Orb is 3d12 plus 8. And it's got an Unearthly Bile with a save DC of 23.
Good.
10d10 acid damage. For each creature that fails a saving throw, a gibbering mouther appears.
Of course.
Yeah. Dude's a 3.5, almost a 4. But I can't quite put him on the same level as Bell.
No.
I just can't.
Yeah.
He's still cool. And he's useful. He's more annoying than he is useful. This would be a very annoying fight because that's a lot of health and a lot of just bink, bink, bite, bite.
Yeah.
Next up, we finally have one that we have been waiting to cover.
I know, right?
The Red Abishai. AC of 22. Max health, 289. Or you can take the max of 34d8 plus 136 for a max health of, okay, give me a second because this is going to take me just a moment. See, 8 and 3 is 24. Be 272 plus 136 should be 408.
Yep.
Hey! So close for a perfect score. I'm only 1 off.
Man had his Wheaties this morning.
I gotta get the next one right. 30-foot movement speed and a flying speed of 50 feet. Plus 12 to strength saves, 10 to con, and 8 to wisdom. Plus 10 to intimidation, I wonder why, and plus 8 to perception. Resistant to cold, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks that aren't silvered. Immune to fire and poisoned. Immune to frightened and poisoned. Dark vision of 120 feet and a passive perception of 18. With Devil's Sight, magical darkness doesn't impede the Abishai's dark vision. And guess what, Eric?
Yeah.
Magic resistance. Our favorite.
My favorite.
Multi-attack, the Abishai makes 1 bite attack and 1 claw attack, and it can use Frightful Presence or Insight Fanaticism. The bite is a plus 12 to hit, 5-foot reach,
Mhm.
3d10 plus 6 piercing damage plus 7d10 fire damage.
On a bite.
7d10 fire damage from a bite from a medium creature.
What's it do? Bite you and then breathe fire on your arm?
Pretty much.
Just.
The claw is a plus 12 to hit, 5-foot reach, 2d10 plus 6 force damage, plus 2d10 fire damage. Frightful presence. It's a DC 18 wisdom saving throw. It's got a higher saving throw than the ancient and adult dragons on the same list.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a direct servant to Tiamat. So
But it's not a dragon.
they're
Man, screw Tiamat.
they're devil dragons. They're Tiamat's favorite. Leave them alone.
I mean, let's be honest. We have known since we covered the first Abishai, and if I'm not mistaken, it was what, the blue? I think the blue was the first one, either that or the
Blue
white.
or green? I can't remember.
It was either blue, green, or white.
Can't remember.
We knew then that it was going to be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Insight fanaticism. The Abishai chooses up to 4 creatures within 60 feet of it that can see it. Until the start of the Abishai's next turn, each of those creatures makes attack rolls with advantage and can't be frightened. And Power of the Dragon Queen. The Abishai targets one dragon it can see within 120 feet of it. The dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Charisma saving throw. A chromatic dragon makes the save with disadvantage. On a successful save, the target is immune to the Abishai's Power of the Dragon Queen for an hour. On a failed save, the target is charmed by the Abishai for 1 hour. And while charmed this way, the target regards the Abishai as a trusted friend to be heeded and protected. This effect ends if the Abishai or its companions deal damage to the target. It's a 5.
Yeah.
It's a 5. There's no. You can argue if you want to. Do so in the Discord link in the description.
Please.
Blow our phones up. I don't care. We will have.
I know. I like.
I will directly tell you that you are a fool for disagreeing.
Well, see, since I have all day to sit at home and read Discord, I really like whenever, like in general chat, people start talking about stuff, and if I'm near the computer, I'll chime into it.
That's a lot coming from the guy that only sends TikToks.
Listen, I keep the TikTok channel full of videos. I do talk in the general chat and the memes.
Lastly, to wrap this list up, we have another from Tome of Beasts.
Mm-hmm.
The Shoggoth. AC of
No,
8.
that is not a cuss word. It is an actual monster.
Yeah, it's a huge aberration. It's a AC of 18, hit points of 325, or you can take the maximum of 21d12 plus 189 for a max health of, let's see, that'd be 252
Mm-hmm.
plus 189,
Mm-hmm.
which would be
Mm-hmm.
441.
Oh, so close. You're right.
I am right.
Yes.
That's 9 for 9. Boom.
He
Look at you,
finally
boy.
made it through a list.
Hey. It's the first list. I got everything right except for the one I did with Duck because I had the calculator up.
Man got old and learned how to math.
I learned how to do math. Dad's proud of me. Love you, Daddy. Plus 11 to perception. Resistant to bludgeoning fire and piercing. Immune to cold, slashing, and thunder. Immune to blinded, deafened, prone, stunned, and unconscious. Dark vision of 120 feet. Tremor sense for 60 feet, and a passive perception of 21. The thing is a bunch of mouths.
It's a big, gooey, pestilent mouth thing.
absorb.
Looks like it should be on the bottom of the ocean.
Ooh, it does look like one of those. It's a blobfish mixed with an angler.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fugly, to say the least.
Absorb flesh. When the Shoggoth kills a creature within 15 feet of it, the creature's body is absorbed into the Shoggoths. The creature can be restored to life only by means of a true resurrection or a wish spell. Amorphous. The Shoggoth can move through a space as narrow as 1 foot wide without squeezing. Anaerobic nature. The Shoggoth doesn't require air. Hideous cacophony. The Shoggoth's many mouths constantly emit whistles, fluting, and other high-pitched noises. It has disadvantage on stealth checks made to be unheard. Each creature that starts its turn within 60 feet of the Shoggoth and that can hear it must make a DC 19 Wisdom saving throw or be disoriented until the start of its next turn. A disoriented creature is incapacitated, and when it moves in a random direction. And the website crashed. Coming back. Got it.
That's kind of scary because it's within a 60-foot every turn. It's got to make a 19 wisdom save.
Yeah. Or you become incapacitated, and when you move, you just go into a random direction.
You were hit by confusion.
Unless surprised, a creature can cover its ears to avoid the saving throw at the start of its turn. If the creature does so, it can't hear for the start of its next turn, when it can cover its ears again. If the creature uncovers its ears in the meantime, while within 60 feet of the Shoggoth, it must immediately make the save, aka you uncover your ears, which means you make an attack or cast a spell.
You got to make the saving throw.
Yep. Keen hearing and smell, and limited mutability. Any spell or effect that would alter the Shoggoth's form alters it for only 1 round. Afterwards, the Shoggoth returns to amorphous blob form. Multi-attack. Makes 4 slam attacks and can replace 2 slam attacks with its use of Crush. The slam is a plus 14 to hit, 15-foot reach, 4d10 plus 8 bludgeoning damage, and the target is grappled with an escape DC of 18 if it's large or smaller. The Crush. The Shoggoth crushes up to 2 creatures it's grappling by rolling them beneath its bulk. Each target must succeed on a DC 19 saving throw or take 4d10 plus 8 bludgeoning damage, be unable to breathe, and be restrained until the grapple ends. If the Shoggoth moves, a creature beneath it is no longer restrained and is able to breathe, but remains grappled. And that's all there is to the stat block.
I'd give it a 3.
Yeah, I give it a 3 as well. Nothing on this list measures up. Nothing measures up to Corpse Daddy.
No, Corpse Daddy is the
Corpse Daddy is the winner of this list, followed closely by the Red Abishai.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
Corpse Daddy is top tier.
There's
Odin's favorite.
Dude, it's as ridiculous as some of these got. The CR19 was a very small list because I had everything that was out there available outside of Homebrew because I didn't go to D&D Beyond. This is stuff that's in like Tome of Beasts, Monster Manual, Mordecai's, Tome of, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything or Xanathar's Guide to Everything. There was only about 15.
Yeah.
It's a very small list overall to begin with, which is why we only have 9 on the list for today. But thank you for listening. I hope you come back because CR20, as crazy as 18 and 19 have been, I can't wait to go up into the 20 and up.
Take a gander at what 20's looking like.
Yeah, go ahead and take a gander at what. Give us a couple of CR20 creatures. And I'm going to go in and give us a couple of CR21s because we'll be there before we know it. See if we just recognize any names.
We just had the Bale. This is Ball Slayer.
Okay.
Like the actual god of murder, Ball.
Oh.
This is before he became a god, though, according to the info on it.
Give us another one.
Another one that I'm looking forward. I know it might not be really cool. I haven't looked at the info on it yet, but the Styx dragon. It is a Chinese-looking dragon. The wingless serpent dragons. Those look pretty cool.
I'll give you a couple that's coming up on CR21 because that's going to be coming up very soon. And I know that these will be on the list. We have the ancient solar dragon.
Oh, yeah.
Our favorite dragons making a comeback, bud.
That one's going to be on there.
Oh, actually, I'll give you 3 because number 2 would be the fire kraken.
Ooh.
You heard that right. The fire kraken. And for something straight out of the Monster Manual, a cornerstone of D&D, the Lich. That will be on the CR21 list.
Funny you say the Lich because the Demi Lich is on 19.
Yep. But thank you for listening. I hope you come back for the next one. And in the meantime, check out the Discord. Link is in the description. We are very active in it. You can have direct conversations with Eric, Ducky, and myself. You can find out exactly how big of an idiot we are.
You only got to listen to podcasts to find that out.
I mean, that's fair. Because of Corpse Daddy.
Good old Corpse Daddy.
And in the meantime, keep rolling high. And we'll see you in the next one.